while we wait for the live stream to catch up and it warms up, whose turn is it anyway to do the summary?
My turn.
All right,
Yeah.
then as we hit the 10 seconds, Salara, go ahead and give us the summary for last session.
Ready now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So last session, we were on our way to Palin's Cove by way of ship from Frank, and we have my mother and father in tow, hopefully on our way to get him cured. And it takes about a half day or so to get there, and it's cloudy and it looks like it's going to rain. We decide that once we get to Palin's Cove that we travel by horse to get to Harse. And so we stop and we buy a couple of horses so that we could get on our way quickly because it's foggy and gross outside and definitely not great for my father. We say our goodbyes to Frank, and he lets us know that he'll be in contact with us after he's arrived back. My brain just left my mind.
Corvosa?
Where is he
It
going
is-
again? Corvosa, thank you. I was like, what the heck? And then so we head towards
Corvosa,
towards Harse, and it starts to rain and it keeps getting worse. But we decide that we're going to press on so that we can hopefully get out of the rain as much as possible. Eventually we reach Harse and we decide to rest at this cute little inn called the Dizzy Giant Inn. My mother, Anais, goes in and gets a room for us while we get our horses settled. She definitely knows her way around talking to people and getting what she wants, so she does so with relative ease. And then we all settle down for dinner. Sigis decides to hang out with in the bar area and people watch, and some random guys show up, and he learns a little bit about the queen is looking for some fine men to join her army, and so we plan the next day to go ahead and check that out. Everybody else is kind of doing their own thing. And then in the morning, Mael, my father, seems to be pretty well rested and is looking a lot better. He starts walking for the first time in a really long time, which is really great. After we have a quick meal, we go ahead and head out to the town hall to see if there's any pamphlets for the quote-unquote draft, and get a little bit more information. And then we leave to head towards the docks, and we're greeted by this very tired-looking man who's apparently a new dad to twins. And we pay him very nicely in hopes that he can afford something to take the edge off or something. And we cross the river and decide to rest overnight instead of continuing through the night. I go to sleep. My mother and father go to sleep, but Grigori, Erica, Robin, and Sigis stay up. And overnight they see a creature in the distance, and it looks like some massive bear, and thankfully it's oblivious to all of them, and I am clueless because I am sleeping, and it's wonderful. In the morning, we leave and head to Janderhof, and there's a giant dwarven fortress, and we have no idea how to get into the city. There's no doors or gates or anything. We know that they keep their markets and everything inside very closed to outsiders, so we're having a hard time figuring out how to get in. But Sigis does notice parts of the gate that are written in Dwarven that says, "Speak the word, friend, and you shall enter." And he says that, and we're greeted by someone that knows who Dwarven Plate Rock is, and he lets us in, and we kind of get toured through a little bit of the city. We meet and talk to Dorben's father, and we get a little bit of information about Yanderhof, and then now we finally have access to the city, and we are continuing our quest to find somebody to heal my father, and that is where we left off.
All right, that's a really well detailed summary. Yeah, and the very last scene where we left off, you guys had met up with Dorvan's father, and I believe you had met him at the forge, or at least the workshop area.
I'd like to know if it's a fake forge. A forge, if you will.
A forged forge? Yes, it would be a forged forge, because it is
Every
made out
forged
of.
has to be forged.
Yes, it is greatly
Unless
made
it's a
out of
naturally
metal.
occurring volcano.
True.
But I meant a faked forge, and so I guess it would be a forge.
God damn it. Alright, so you guys are in the same room as you're all sort of together on one corner of this very large, sort of strangely shaped forge, much larger than any human forges you've ever seen. And you're with this gentleman, Mr. Plate Rock. Who has dismissed the soldier that came with you guys, and he's like, all right, so the little kid will arrive sometime when he manages to get some time for his old man, but you're not free to stay with me for the time being. What exactly does bring you here, though?
Hank sort of looks at Silera.
I'm sorry, what?
Well,
we are hoping to find a healer. Yep.
Here,
the Church of Abadar, ideally.
Yeah.
Like sort of help her out.
I can help you with that. See. Right. Follow me. I'll take you to my place. You should be able to drop some of your stuff there. Who is it that leads the healing? He sort of looks around
And
the group.
I'll gesture to my father.
Right, of course. Right, follow me. And he leads you out of the forge, out through the main door. And surely enough, you start going out and about through the many hills and valleys of the mountain. As you sort of go from one street, you enter a little bit of a cavernous area, where you can see that like the facade of different buildings has sort of been built into the mountain. And eventually, he leads you to looks like a pretty decently sized home. He opens up the door, and you can tell like there's probably someone else in the house. There is a little bit of sound, and he sort of gestures for you guys to go into the living room. All right, so give me one moment, and I'll just get comfortable. I'll be right back. All right. Oh man, what are you? And he starts shouting as he starts going up the stairs. And you're sort of left.
This is a culture shock from Corvosta.
A little, yeah. I'm a little out of my element.
No, yeah. Eric just straight up kind of looked over at Silera and said that.
Yep. But yeah, you guys are sort of left alone for a moment. You can hear the heavy footsteps of Mr. Plate Rock as he goes up the stairs. You can hear there's a little bit of movement, and there's a little bit of conversation that starts to grow in volume higher and higher. As you guys are sort of standing about in a rather large, somewhat emptily decorated living room slash sort of dining room area. There's like a couple of couches and a long table with room for 6.
Okay. Let's take a seat and I guess wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin will just sort of wait to see where Silera chooses to sit, because it's like I don't really want to fuck up the etiquette here. This is my friend's parents' house, and my friend isn't here, so this is weird.
Yep.
It is a little weird, yes.
If we spend the night, we're definitely not getting any kind of blankets or pillows.
Definitely just sleep in a cardboard box in the living room. It's fine.
Right, so
Dwarven hospitality.
Yep,
Yeah.
Dwarven hospitality. So after a couple of moments, you hear the two sets of footsteps come down the stairs, and you see Mr. Plate Rock once more, being followed by presumably Mrs. Plate Rock. You're not being introduced as the Mr. Plate Rock sort of goes and says, "Right, so the lot of you, the old man, what's your name?" And he sort of gestures towards Mail, and he goes like, "Right, Mail, is everything fine? All right? Right, Mail, whatever. You come with me, and whoever needs to go to the church, come with me. We'll go that right now, and in the meantime, you can stay in here. She'll take care of you."
I'll look at my mother and father and as if I'm going to prepare to come with them.
Yeah,
Eric-
they sort of give you a nod and
Erica
start.
should probably go with too, and maybe like we haven't. Okay, we haven't told anyone that he has a super deadly plague,
That's
and
maybe
even
not
if we're
the
getting that
part
cured,
that.
we should probably have someone who's immune to disease in between him and the world.
That's what I was gonna suggest, but yeah, I've been caring for him on the journey. I'd like to accompany you guys as well.
And I was just gonna go because I speak Dwarven.
Translating would be useful.
Sounds great.
And I'm gonna go as
Sorry.
well because
Yeah, we know it's not the party anymore. We all go.
Oh,
the
yeah.
last time I
We're
stayed
splitting
behind in the house.
party.
Yeah, the last time I stayed behind in the house, you know what happened. So
True.
That's
Well,
fair.
I mean,
technically,
if everybody else is going, I guess I'll go. But
Okay.
technically,
You know when they
none of you
move, like,
remember because
kids in
that didn't happen in
kindergartens
the
and they have the-
timeline. But okay.
Yeah, so
They
like,
have the big long rope, and everyone grabs a little loop, and we all just go together.
so you can tell like as everyone's starting to get up and like getting ready, there's like a moment of confusion. Actually, I'm just struggling to remember. We haven't named Dorban's dad, have we?
yeah,
Did
Can we call him Dad Bin?
Hang on.
yep.
Oh my god.
I support this message.
Do I remember what it is? No, but he definitely has a name.
He definitely has a
Dad
name.
bin,
Have you
dad
given me
bin,
his
dad
name? Is
bin.
the
Yes,
question.
yes, yeah. Because I put it in the thing.
Yeah. 'Cause
Dad
I
Rock,
keep calling
Dad
him
Rock.
Mr.
Oh,
Plate
Dad
Rock,
Rock's good
and
too.
I'm getting tired of it. Galthrin. There's me.
Father Bins?
Rockefeller.
Galthrin.
Ooh.
Right. So Galthrin sort of looks around and says, "Oh, right. So, well, if you're all coming, just prepare a room for them. Just are you all lot staying for the night?"
If you're
Look around and kind of just
if you're
sort of
able to
shakes his
accommodate
head.
us,
Robin's like, I mean, I feel like we're a little pressed for time. I don't know if we can stay the night. I feel like we should just leave Mail in the hands of Abadar's priests. They're beyond competent in this regard, so I wouldn't feel uncomfortable leaving him here. I do have to say that it is your call, though, Silera, obviously.
and is there anything else we
I would-
need in the city is the other thing to consider. Anything else here that might be useful in our further ventures?
Stock up on some supplies so Sigus can craft stuff, if that's something on the list. I can't think of anything else. Does anybody need anything while we're here?
No. I just on your first comment, I think if he wasn't like contagious, I totally agree with you, but I just don't want to get to a new town and hear like the plague has spread, you know, like
I mean,
they'll be able to
you can
detect
assume
diseases.
that there's paladins in the Order of Abadar.
That are immune to disease.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
As
It'd be
Erica
face-
is.
It'd be
And,
safe
and
to
they'll
assume
also be able to detect diseases, especially once we tell them what's up.
Precisely.
Fair.
that. Right?
Like I'm normally I'm more on the cautious side, but I think Robin's got the right of this.
Yeah, and it's contact, not airborne. So as long as he's not touching anything, like it's not that big of a problem, really. It can be handled very easily, I'd imagine. Prestidigitation here and there, you know, hand sanitizer of the fucking Pathfinder universe.
So in character, to Guthrin's question, like, are you lot staying tonight for the night? What is the party answering? Because he's sort of like hovering by the door, sort of waiting for you guys.
I mean,
to
Robin's looking at Silera and kind of just like tilting his head, kind of like gently shaking no. But it's still your call. Like he'll shrug.
Wait.
But yeah, don't worry
I-
about it. And
I
like,
feel it would be best if we were to move on quickly. We actually have something else that we need to be getting to that
It's rather urgent, yeah.
urgent. Yes.
all right, all right. And like,
And you just see Silera just kind of looking between everybody, still just kind of like not with it.
Yep.
We do appreciate the offer, but we just don't have the time, unfortunately.
All right. Well, if that's what you're going for, and the one talking now is presumably Dorbin's mother. It would have been a great thing to have you over. And don't worry about like intruding. We are prepared for guests, and well, I was just to go about to, I was just about to go to work, so you can all come visit me there if you need a drink or a moment to rest on before you leave. Maybe.
Sure, Anais would probably accept the hospitality. That is out of character because, like, she's probably gonna stay here with Mail, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I would love to. Once we've visited the church, you can tell like they sort of share a nod, like, oh right, yeah. And they then both her and Mail sort of turn towards Catherine. All right, well, if you go, have a good day at work, honey. And he starts to head out and sort of gestures for everyone to come along.
Yep.
And we follow.
Kindergarten chain away.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a couple more moments, and eventually you make it out of this sort of cavernous area and back out to sort of an alcove on the mountain. And right as you come out, you can tell like there's the sort of facade of the church built to the side of on the side of the mountain. And most of the church is sort of built outside, but you can tell that it goes into the mountain itself. There's a very large patio with a couple of fountains on the outside that seem to be like maybe a little bit excessively decorated in that they are much like the rest of this town have been carved out of the natural stone. And Catherine sort of leads you up to the gates, where he sort of shimmies away from the party, like he scuttles away to talk to one of the guards, or well, one of the clerics at the door. And you can tell like he's asking about something. All right, so this way, and once again he leads you into the church and takes a little bit of a path down the right and around, leading sort of into this massive hall that has been decorated with gold on the ceiling and on the ground. You can tell like there's almost like a mosaic that has been built with precious stones, or at least semi-precious stones like quartz, and has been outlined with gold and silver. And it's like it doesn't look opulent, but it does look quite attractive. And as he sort of leads you around the corner, you can sort of have a good look at the size of this place and the opulence of this place. And eventually he reaches the door to the side, knocks a couple times, door opens, and you see another dwarf, one clothed in white and gold, bearing the sigil of Abadar on his chest. He's sort of, good morning. What is it? I, and you can tell like Gathrin is sort of having a little bit of a whispered conversation with him. I don't know if you're interested in eavesdropping, but from the looks of it, he's sort of making a quick introduction.
Not my business.
All right. But without sort of whispering over, he sort of gestures towards Mael with an open palm, and the cleric goes, "Right, so the last of you did some healing, I think. Could whoever it is that needs the healing, please step into the office." He sort of looks around, and Mael sort of looks around the party, like waiting for everyone to like, we're all good, right?
Yeah. Robin's gonna, sort of stand out of the way and be like, just be careful to not touch anything if you can, Mail.
Right, of course. I'll be.
Do you mind if one or two of us accompany him? I've been his caretaker up until now, and this is his wife and daughter. Would that be an issue?
I wouldn't like to have too many people into my office, but I suppose one person should be all right.
Silara, Anise, your call.
I think that my mother should be in there with him.
Look, I want to be there with him. I do think, Erica, it might be better if you. Mael will be fine. I would feel a little bit more comfortable if you were.
Understood.
And Mael, that's sort of, he's hovering with both hands on his walking cane, sort of looking back towards the lot of you. And he nods in agreement and sort of walks towards the cleric. Sort of slowly, because he can't really walk quickly, but especially slowly, sort of hovering for you to catch up, Erica.
Yeah, Erica will kind of clank up behind him. Like, let's get you healed up. Kind of clap him on the shoulder.
The two of you head in. He sort of pats your hand when you put it on his shoulder, and then continues into the office with you. And as you sort of go in, the clerk sort of looks around. He seems to organize a little bit of his office, gesture to you. Two rather not well kept chairs. Like you can tell they're a little bit rickety, and it's like a stark contrast to the rest of the church. He's sort of like gesturing for you guys to take a seat and says, "All right, so what is it? What exactly is the problem here? You can see that he has some kind of faction. It's plenty clear." He sort of squints at and Mail says, "All right, so what exactly do you need me to do for it?"
I believe so out of character, we determined that it's a magical disease that needs a remove disease cast on it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it has some kind of necromantic magical component.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so basically just to skip the story dump, Erica will just explain that to him. She's not gonna like try and obfuscate anything. But she's not also gonna go into too much detail about like how he contracted it, just that he appears that he's got this, and that we were forced to leave Corvosa before we could find him a adequate healer.
Right. So he's sort of nodding along. When you mention the necromantic part of it, he sort of leans in closer, touches Mael's hand, sort of brings it towards him, sort of flips it over, and you can tell like as he's sort of checking Mael, he sort of pulls his sleeves over. He pulls them back, and you can see there are some sort of protuberances on his arm, almost like a rash that has gone beyond the step of looking red to almost looking black, much like you remember the the necromantic deceased doing for Sigis and for Salera as well. And you can see that there's like the beginning of like a mushroom stem or a protuberance. He sort of hums and haws and pulls back and says, "All right, so I can do something for him. You know, we can try dispelling it. It is I don't mean rude or anything. I very much would like to help you, but we go by certain rules here. I do request payment ahead of time. Kind of services rendered by the church. All should be equal before the eyes
For the eyes of Abadar, yes, of course. So party money, money wise, are we paying for this, or is
I figure so, right? We're on a quest.
Gold bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much money in that go bag though, Dad?
We maybe we just
Um,
pay for it now, and then we talk to, and if it works, we talk to the parents afterwards.
Money is not a concern, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah?
And I think that
I'll cover
Sorry,
it.
go ahead. Post.
Yeah. As he mentions this, and you're probably like thinking, oh, we actually need to pay for this. Mel sort of looks over. It's all right. I'll pay for it. I pay. Oh God. Suddenly, Mail is also adopting the
Yeah, your
the accent.
dwarven
Been here for an
accent is
hour.
on point.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'll afford it. I'll afford it. It's quite all right. And he
As
sort of
long as you're sure, Maya.
yes, it is me that needs the help after all. It's quite all right. How much are we talking about here? And the door sort of scratches his beard and looks over some papers and sort of moves them out of the way and says, "But usually it would be quite expensive. We would be talking about a good 300 gold pieces, 100 gold pieces, depending on who it is performing. Unfortunately, I'm the only one currently available, so it'll be. And this is the GM quickly doing mental math. Uh, 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 200 and 50 gold pieces. You can tell, like, Miles not happy about how expensive this is, and like he scratches his chin and says, "Right, of course, that's perfectly agreeable. If you could, And he sort of stretches a hand forth. And the cleric sort of shakes his hand and then sort of says, "All right, I deal," and lets Miles' hand over and begins to cast a spell. Oh wow! You see the spell sort of begin to form, and immediately, you hear like the distinct sound of glass shattering as the cleric's hand sort of vibrates away from Mael. He sort of looks at his hand and then at Mael. I'll give it one more try. I owe you that much. He sort of puts the hand back over Mael's.
Do you need some assistance there?
Apparently,
Unfortunately, you cannot assist spellcasting, I don't think.
Not unless we're in a coven, but I mean.
Apparently, you see the same thing happen again as his hand sort of, and he sort of winces in pain. Says, I never have like this much trouble with it.
It's quite a resilient disease.
I can tell. Come back tomorrow morning. I'll keep trying until I succeed. I'm not going to charge you any further. Now I know that I can cure that. It's just perhaps I'm just out of practice. I haven't had a disease such as this in really forever.
Pray that you continue to not have diseases such as this.
It'd be
would
best
you
if-
prefer? Would you prefer if And I guess this is a question for you, Mael, as well. Would you prefer staying here with the clerics, or I
You
know
sort of-
we've got other accommodations.
Yeah, he sort of looks between you and the cleric then looks back to you. I believe it'll be best if he stays over. We'll be able to have them be seen by another cleric, perhaps. If that's all right with you. Yes, of course. I can stay. Just I'll just have a quick chat with my wife, and I'll be right back. Yeah, of course. Please go ahead. And you can tell, like the cleric's a little bit frustrated, and at the same time, like he looks a little bit confused as he's starting to. He goes over to open the door for you, and then sort of leaves the door open, goes back to his desk, and he starts to go to rummage through some papers. And a lot of you see Erica walk out, and Miles sort of walks behind her and sort of gestures for Anais to come over, and sort of over and sort of gestures for you as well to come over, Celera.
Okay.
So, here, honey, looks like the cleric couldn't do much now, but they're gonna try again tomorrow in the morning. Perhaps I'll be seeing some. I think we still have a chance. I think it'd be better for everyone if I stay here for the night. And you can tell, like, Anais has a. Sorry, your mother, Cedra, has this look of, I really don't want to go. I don't want to leave you here. It's just, yes, I'm sure. Uh, be best. I'll come by in the morning and be here if you need anything. Yes. Thank you, sweetie. Will you be all right, sunshine?
I'm just gonna kind of look between my mother and father and then the rest of the party. Like, I know that we said that we needed to leave, but if he can't be healed, he should be coming with us. Right?
Erica will kind of
I'm
will mention here that, like, so there the spell is it's the correct spell. It's the same thing that we used successfully on this before. It just, with the disease being the way that it is, and kind of necromantic, she'll kind of say slowly, it can resist this, it can try to fight the spell, and it's just successfully doing that. It's just a matter of casting it until we get it through.
Also, the fact if he's there, like, it's a lot more likely they'll keep trying if he's like hanging out there because they know what he has. They're not less likely to send him away if it keeps failing.
Oh, as long as it still has money.
Yeah.
See Abadar.
It's okay. We got explorer money.
Yeah. I don't know. So there, I understand if you'd want to wait around for another attempt. But I'd also think we should run that by the rest of the group as well. They do have a valid point that that town is hanging on us, and every day we take, it's, we don't know what's happening there.
Right. Mother, can't you would
Yeah.
I don't want to leave you guys.
You see her, like, she gives you a little bit of a smile, and then you can tell, like, she holds back from saying something. It's all right. Look, you go do your whole bardic adventuring thing. We'll be in good hands. Um, it's not like you can do anything more for us. Besides, I think your friends need you more than we.
What's the next town we plan on stopping in? Out of character here.
From here,
Turtleback.
Not
I
Well,
know,
you're-
I know
you're-
Turtleback's the end goal, but
the end goal is Turtleback Ferry. From here, your idea was to take the river down to Abken, and from Abken go to Biston, from Biston to Ilzurian, and from Ilzurian get to Turtleback Ferry.
And does it sound like both Male and Anais are staying at the church?
one of them staying at the church, male, and the other one staying at the somewhere? Question mark.
Probably with the plate rocks.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to suggest that they send a raven ahead to Azurian, so so that we can kind of get news when we get there.
Robin's gonna sort of peek his head into the cleric's office and sort of just like gently knock while everybody's discussing this.
Yeah. He sort of raises his head and looks in your direction.
Do you mind if we just have a word in private, really quick?
Of course. Close the door behind you.
Yeah, sure thing. Robin's gonna head on in, close the door, and he's going to say, "Well, I am one of Iomede's faithful, so know that I feel you are a very close ally, and I wish to trust you with information regarding Male. He is not only sick, but he is also being targeted by a notorious group of assassins, and myself and my allies have managed to." And Robin, sort of just remembering the fact that he literally died from one of these assassins, got murdered, trying to put the words together and just say, "We struggled, but we're still alive." They are. Do you know of the Red Mantis?
I've heard briefly of them.
They are very real. They are very dangerous. And I thought that it would be very important to let you know that the individual that you are housing is currently marked for death. That being said, I know now, as one in a similar position to yours, that doesn't mean you're going to deny him the roof. I just was concerned about the safety of the church.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you for your concern. You're a good ally. I'll make sure
I
that
try.
I'll make sure that we make appropriate accommodations for it.
On the same vein, your patient's wife is going to be staying with the Plate Rocks. I'm sure you must know Dorbin?
I know his father.
Yes. Anais will be staying with Mr. and Mrs. Plate Rock. She, too, is marked for death. So, I don't know if it would be better to have them both in the same position or not. That's not really my specialty. You might want to maybe have a paladin on each of them just to keep an eye out.
Let's talk with the authorities. No one has ever gotten into Yanderhofen out without being spotted. Don't think even these assassins could pull it off. But I'll make sure that both of them have a good eye on.
Well, it's very good to hear. Final note before I leave. Overestimate the assassins at every opportunity you get.
Right? I'll keep it in mind. Is everything alright with you, though? You don't look too good.
No, I'm also dying. Magic demon cancer or something. I don't know. nobody's been able to do anything about it. So it's a slow burn. We'll see how far I get. Mail's kind of the priority though, so
Best of fortunes for you in that regard, then.
thank you for your concern. I really appreciate it, and thank you for everything that you're doing for Mail, and more, of course. Hope it doesn't come to more, but thank you.
He gives you a nod. Says, "Very welcome." Right. Is there anything else?
Good luck.
Likewise. And he sort of gestures for you to go to the door.
Yep. He'll. Robin was sort of standing by the door, sort of the whole time, and he's just gonna, pop it open and dip
see.
on out,
All right.
and close the door behind him, kind of thing.
And in the meantime, I'm guessing the party has been sort of talking, probably like settling, right? Like, what do we want to do? And from the looks of it, Mile is going to be staying in the church, and he's if it hasn't been stated before, she said like, look, I'll simply go and talk to the plate rocks and probably stay either at their place or probably an inn somewhere around here. I'll be fine. Not like I will be staying here for too long.
Okay.
Make sure you
Well-
hire some good guards on the way back if you decide to go back to Corvosa.
Yeah, and make sure that you send word for updates.
I will do. I'll try to be a little bit more consistent with my letters. I know I wasn't the best.
Thank you, Mother.
pen pal.
Anais, if I may,
Yes?
you may actually want to stay here for an extended period of time. The Underhof's walls tend to keep out the riffraff, the dangerous riffraff.
Yes. We'll probably stay here until we get word from Sir Frank. If we don't within probably the next month, we'll see what we do. But until then, I believe we have our accommodations covered for.
Yeah, should be okay.
All right. Darling, is there anything else you need? No. Would love a kiss, but I think it would be inopportune. I'm afraid. And she sort of giggles at that. And says, "We'll see maybe in the morning." And he gives her a nod and sort of waves at you charmingly. So there, he sort of gives you a smile, like he's trying to, look a little bit more composed than usual. And says, "Oh, I suppose I'll see you lot in, well, sometime in the future. Darling, I'll see you in the morning."
And then I'm gonna say something to the effect of don't give up. And then I'll just do a little like
he
almost like blowing a kiss at him.
Yeah, he sort of does the very meekly, but it does the gesture of sort of grabbing it and bringing it to his chest, sort of thing. And with that, like Miles sort of takes a couple steps over, and you see the cleric sort of is coming out of his office to talk to him again, and the two of them sort of move deeper into the church together, and then I sort of turns back to you guys and says, "Well, I'm going to go sort out my accommodations for the night. Is everyone gonna stick around for a moment longer? I would love to have just a few more hours with you, Sunshine. If that's all right. But if
We need to organize our supplies for the trip at the very least, so we
do
can
need
probably
to
give you some
provision.
hours.
Buy a tent or two. No, we didn't have a tent.
Yes, we do need a tent. That is a fair point, Tigus.
would it be all right if I borrow my daughter for say 2 hours, and while you sort out your equipment?
Yeah, we've got this, Anise. You guys take your time. Just you'll find us down at the markets when you're done.
Sounds good.
And Anais sort of gestures. There's the sort of pose with her arm, sort of gesturing for you to offer yours, etc. You sort of go arm in arm, and sort of gestures for you to follow. Sunshine, if it's all right with you, would it be all right if we do some shopping of our own?
Sounds wonderful.
All right. And she'll sort of start leading you out of the church, and we'll sort of brush over it, but she would have to ask like one of the guards outside. Surprisingly to you, apparently your mother speaks Dwarven, and she hadn't mentioned it. But she does talk to one of the guards in Dwarven.
Hilarious.
A very broken
Of
up
course she does.
Dwarven.
Boy,
Um,
cunt, basically.
essentially.
Boy, it's the invisible cunt.
And you'll get directions to go to the sort of marketplace of Yanderhof. The rest of you, what is the party going to do aside from getting some supplies, which we can sort of brush over? You would be able to find pretty much anything that you need in the marketplace at a pretty reasonable price.
Sheik, did you get my PM that I sent you?
I just sitting at it now.
When
By
you
the way,
mentioned
out of-
tents, you'd probably mention that instead.
I think I like tents. Tiny hut scroll.
How about magic
Look.
tents?
True. Tents.
Yeah, I mean it's not
It's
a bad
pretty
one
intense.
if you got the spell slot for it.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to pull it up. Sorry, I'm on a different computer, so I'm on my work computer, so I don't have
Your usual
the tabs
tools.
and Yeah.
Feel
like I
that.
don't have the sheet.
Dumb out of character question, really
Yes?
quick. So, is it to be assumed that when it comes to Red Mantis, their quest, like when somebody's marked for death, is that forever until they're dead?
They never
Is that-
fail.
Okay, so okay.
It's permanent.
You don't know because you just simply don't know. You don't have this knowledge, but given the track records, it's very likely that either they don't give up or they literally haven't ever failed.
Okay.
And this
Which
might
is
be like
incredibly unlikely, by the way, that they have never failed.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
also, we just pulled some Ouroboros bullshit and fucking split a timeline on them. So,
Yeah.
maybe this is literally the first time they've failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably
Okay.
unlikely though.
They
Yeah.
might want to live under a like tinfoil hat for a while.
Something. Yeah.
I mean, same.
But yeah, you guys would be
Yes,
able
you
to.
too.
You guys would be able to procure any item essentially below a price of 1,000 gold pieces in the Yanderhof market without any issues.
Yep.
And that does
If it-
include magical items. So if there is anything that you would like to procure here, this is sort of your best chance to do so.
If anyone wants me to make anything, I don't have anything's on the go right now, I don't think. I don't have the sheet, but
How you feel about adding a +1 to my glaive?
that's so easy. I can do that in like one night.
Please.
Yeah.
I just need to be able to. I just want that on there so that I can crack through.
Yeah,
with it.
for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think I'm good for a little bit at least. How about the rest of you guys?
I can't think of anything off of the top of my head right now, and I believe I've used way too much of the party funds anyways, but definitely recommend a scroll of Tiny Hut so that at the very least Sigus
Yeah.
can like put it in his spellbook and have it later.
Yeah, it's a sweet spell.
Yeah,
for,
because
like,
it'll
safe
protect us
camping.
again. Yeah, and
A
it'll
lot.
protect us for all like elements, and I don't have to prepare as long as I have a it is a third level spell, but as long as I have the third level spell slot when we want to rest, I can always reload.
Oh yes,
Thanks.
you can just kind of like
For, like-
chamber a third level
Yeah.
that you're dedicating to it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So
So
definitely. Oh, also, did you do Oh, what the fuck was that spell? The
ablative
non-lethal
thing?
spell. Yeah, ablative barrier. Did you get that?
The ablative barrier is the one that gives like actively
The
damage
first
reduction.
the first 5 points of damage become non-lethal, and Robin's
Yeah.
immune to non-lethal, so it's 5 DR nothing basically.
Yeah, I have that.
You have that? Okay, sweet. That was the only
If
other
you
thing that I
guys
could think
have
of.
if you guys have this sheet, if you go to like the shopping list thing, there's a list of all the spells. I don't have that sheet
Oh.
right now. If someone wants to drop a link in the chat,
It's
but
pinned.
those
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's pinned in Skirmishers.
So the only ones you
Perfect.
don't have, according to your sheet, are the ones that you don't have done by right now are Secret Page, Blindness, Command Undead, and Eagle Splendor.
Yeah, the
But everything else
blindness
is
and
done.
Command Undead I have. It was already done.
Oh yeah, you
Um,
did put done
But
there.
Eagle
Sorry.
Splendor I have not.
All right. Yeah. Then in that case, he does have that stuff. He's got
Alright.
a lot of stuff. Jeepers.
Yeah, ablative barrier is gonna make Robin a fucking beastly fucking tank. It's gonna be ridiculous.
We just need to find a way to get you to aggro people.
Bruh,
Yeah.
I can aggro people.
So yeah, I think we're good for now. But in your spare time, think about things. It would make me happy to make you guys cool, awesome stuff. Because then when you do awesome stuff, I get to claim some of the credit.
Robin literally just like casts like prestidigitation and like throws a bunch of rope out of his robe and is like magic.
I just had the image of you like opening your cape up and like, is it like party streamers coming out and you're like
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So,
Right, moving on.
Moving on, continuing with the story. So is there anything you guys would like to do in Yanderhof while you're here?
I do need to pick up a couple quivers of arrows.
Yep, that would be easy peasy at the marketplace. You would even be able to find uncommon types of arrows here.
Oh shit! All right.
Grab some of them
Rare
bludgeoning
mineral,
arrows, my
bitch.
dude.
There are some barbed arrows meant to stick to the target and cause bleeding, which I believe are called like thistle arrows.
Barbed thistle arrows. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want some of those.
They're expensive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there's
I
two different
Don't
types.
want one of those.
Yeah.
And
And depend. I don't know if they go by the. Do they go by the same arrow recovery rules as everything else?
Yeah.
Yep.
All
Okay.
arrows do that. Yeah.
50-50 if they're non-magical. And if they are magical.
Oh, do the non-magical ones? How do the magical ones work?
They always break.
Same.
They always break.
Oh,
Okay.
they always break. Yeah, you're right.
Because the magic is sort of discharges violently when it triggers. Just trying to find my list of arrows. Where the fuck is it? Oh, there it is.
Our arrows are 2 gold apiece. Thistle arrows are 1 gold.
So you would be even able to get bleeding arrows, which are 360 gold apiece.
Oh god.
Yikes.
Definitely do not.
Is that like con damage?
No, it
Just bleed?
Just bleed?
Yeah.
1 point of bleed damage. That's it.
How is that worth 300 gold?
Worse.
Well, it's
And
worth that if you're.
It's a single arrow even. It's not even like
Yep.
a
20. Yeah,
it's not 20, it's just 1.
Thistle are just straight up better.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. You can +1 in armor in 5 hours. Holy shit.
Yes. This
Yeah.
is what I
Only
like, build
500
this
DP,
for.
by the way. Honestly,
Uh,
you
oh,
should
sorry,
get everybody's
weapons.
armor up.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be
Weapons
able
are
to get
fantastic.
thistle arrows. You would be able to get bleeding arrows. That's the big difference here. Because thistle arrows are only craftable
Also,
by Ekujai shamans.
Also, chic crafting +1 armor is actually half of the 1,000 because it's half cost to craft. So it's only 500.
No, I literally just corrected that. I was just
Okay.
looking at. I've typed wrong. My bad.
Yeah, so
Weapons are 1,500 because it's.
I currently have an unupgraded set of plate, an unupgraded shield, and an unupgraded Gisarm, which all could use that treatment if we're putting things up for it. Although I would say I have a lot of HP and I can self heal, so I would suggest doing other people first.
I think we prioritize because your weapon's double ended, so I can only do one. They're separate weapons.
No, it's
single-ended.
It's single-ended.
Oh, never mind.
Is Grigori's bow +1?
Yeah.
It's a plus.
It's +2.
It's a +2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
I
it have...
That's what I spent most of my money on this last time.
What's
You could
Silera? What are
have
you
gravity bow
for...
added to it or something to get an extra dice.
Also, I didn't know if we wanted to lock this in all right now, but we should definitely have a list before next session because, like, whenever we're on the, if I have something primed, we can just track time, and that'll just we'll just get things.
We can assume you guys spend some time at the Yanderhof market, and out of session, we'll figure out what exactly you guys buy.
GM is good.
Aside from marketplace, is there anything else you would like to do? Salara, you would be essentially visiting the marketplace with your mother, and she sort of takes you more so on like a window shopping sort of thing, just to distract herself is the feeling that you're getting.
Right. And I'll spend my time. I know that like it's just a brief kind of thing, so we can move on. But I'll just tell her some of like the really fun and like exciting stories of what I've done so far in my adventures.
Oh yeah.
Tell her about the stupid candies.
Oh, I'll tell her the story about how I messed with my friends because they had no idea what the candies were. I'll tell her like all the fun stuff. Of my adventures.
That's amazing. She would definitely like crack up at the mention of those candies because it's like, oh, you pulled that one off. But yeah, the two of you have a little bit of a moment, sort of relaxing in the marketplace. What is it, Gregory?
Do they have mithril here?
They do. They have plenty of mithril. This is in fact the only place where you can get mithril built. Technically the only place that makes mithril in all of Varizia.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
All other mithril got in Varizia is either reforged or obtained from old treasures.
All right. Well, let me look into how much that would cost to get a.
Just buy some bars of mithril to bring with us.
1 grand for light armor, 4 for medium, 9 for heavy, 1 for a shield, 500 for another item.
That's rough.
Yep,
yeah,
it's expensive.
That's why the mithril chain shirt tends to be the most common because otherwise it gets kind of cost prohibitive.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I would love to have mithril medium armor, but that is high
super
price.
expensive. Yep. Well, again, we can figure out purchases after the session so that we don't take away time.
Move the plot.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, the 2 hours will go by. Anais will sort of say her goodbyes, sort of enjoy night. Stay safe out there, and make sure they stay safe as well. And sort of gives you a wink, Solera. And she'll sort of give you a big hug, sort of bring you in close, very tight hug. And then she'll wave at everyone and says, it was lovely meeting you all. I hope next time it might be under better circumstances. Maybe some festivities. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about.
Let's make it happen.
Sounds good. Magnamar is lovely this time of year. Maybe you can visit that side of the Varizia.
I might
Maybe
have
after
to.
the Civil War.
I heard the Tridea has a wonderful show being prepared, so I might just do a visit there to watch the new show. And she sort of gives you all a smile and sort of waves and says, but we'll talk about that next time. And she starts to sort of pull away from the group and goes towards the. At this point, you guys would have probably been in front of the tavern. which I'm blanking on right now, but it is the tavern that is run by Dorban's mother.
Plate Tavern.
Nope. It has a lovely name, which I'm going to look up right now because I hate not remembering this.
It's been a hot minute since we were in this.
Wayfarer's Hearth Inn.
Okay, that is
Also,
pretty good.
it was funny when you asked if my father had a name. I was like, I'm pretty confident I even did my mom's maiden name, which I did.
Yep, you did. Yeah, you did. I just like there's so many characters in this campaign. It's impossible
are.
for me to remember everything.
Well,
Um,
mine keep dying, so I keep having to add more characters.
Just
but
say
yeah,
I'd
Go
love
ahead.
to play a game run by Sandy. You'd run into it's like you meet the tavern keeper. His name is Ale Tavern Keeperson.
All the
What's
tavern
up,
names
Dale?
would be
Not much.
all the-
Can Dale pour you an ale? Hey, hey.
Oh my god.
All the tavern names would be puns. Just
What
all
ails
of them.
you, my friend?
No, that would be the healer.
All right. Anyway,
Oh,
sorry.
God.
Thank you for this interjection.
Yeah, that was a great interjection. But yeah, you guys are sort of left to your own devices once more. The Gathrin, Dorman's father, sort of talks to you for a moment after you've said your goodbyes and says, "Right, so if you're not heading towards Hapkin, it might be good for you to take a ship down the river. You'll get there
Man.
before nightfall."
Yep. That's pretty quick.
Can we bring our horses on the ship? Is it big enough for that? Like a ferry?
Yeah,
The ships
it's a
can fit
ferry.
boats on them, so
Yeah, it's a ferry. You should be able
Perfect.
to. Come with me. I'll take you to the station for it. And sort
Oh,
of-
also, sir, I don't know if we've said it so far, but we really appreciate you vouching for us and taking us in here to get Talera's family help. It is a huge help.
don't worry about it. Norman talked about you a lot, mighty lot. He gave you a lot of credit. Least I could do was for some of my son's friends was to take him in. Don't even mention it. Now, off to the river we go.
As we're walking, actually, Gregori's going to drop by and to Catherine and let him know that I just wanted to tell you that your son is a wonderful person, and throughout my time knowing him, he has gone above and beyond to help everybody he saw in need. I mean, he cured people of diseases, he healed the wounded, he treated everything that he possibly could. I mean, from what the stories I hear from everybody else before I had joined, he seemed to have held them all together. So you have raised a wonderful son.
Give me a sense motive.
Sure. Do not have that in my macros. All right. Oh yeah, it's because I suck at it. That's right.
obviously.
Roll a d20.
Will?
Oh,
Hey,
damn.
great. No.
Nice.
He sort of
Hey,
like
that's
he
pretty good.
listens to you as the two of you are walking and you say these wonderful words. He sort of looks pretty stern and says, well, of course he would do that. He's my son after all. I wouldn't expect any less from him." But you can tell, like, the way he's talking, there is, like, he's trying to push down a little bit of a sob. Like, he's proud to the point, like, there's a hint of a tear on the corner of his eye. And he's like, "Anyway, sir, the ferry will probably cost you." Like, he changes the topic immediately. The ferry will probably cost you like a couple gold pieces for the lot of you. I hope you're this time of year it shouldn't be too hard, the weather on you. Should be pretty clear. It's been a couple bad days, but it should clear up. Yeah, so you guys get to the sort of underground river area where there's sort of it isn't exactly like a river. It's a bit of a stream that starts to lead out of the Yanderhof. And there's another set of gates being guarded by 4 heavily plated, armored dwarves, with a few moments to converse. Catherine sort of turns to you. Says, "Right, so well, the ferry will be down the road. Should take you about 20 minutes to get there. You shouldn't have any problem. But if you ever need to come back to Yanderhof, you're always welcome at our home."
Thank
Thank you.
finally.
Okay. He sort of nods as you guys depart, and unless there's anything else you guys would like to do from here to at least the next event that happens, let me know. But it would take you about 20 minutes to get down the roads, and eventually you would reach a platform, a stone platform, and connected docks at the riverside, which have a ferry sort of moored there. And they're sort of clearly waiting for clientele. Strangely enough, it is not being operated just by dwarves. It is a dwarf and a human who are operating the ferries. And as a lot of you sort of arrive, you would be able to essentially procure travel for. There's 5 of you, plus 5 horses. Oh, that's a good question. Are you guys taking the Anais horse, or are you leaving it in Yanderhof?
Well, she'll need her own horse. Male will also probably want his own horse.
Right.
And I think that leaves us with 3, and like
Yep.
most of us can double up, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't see that being a problem, unless we think we need the extra horse. I don't think we do for any reason.
Don't think
Agreed.
so.
All right.
Let's go.
Then the 5 of you plus 3 horses will end up costing you 4 gold pieces for the travel from here to Apkin. The human ferryman will say, "Look, it sounds like a lot of you are looking to get to Lake Sarantula. Sarantula. It'd be quicker if you just keep going down to Melfish. I don't know if you consider that option. It wouldn't cost you too much more."
We need to make a stop in Abkin first, anyways, so it wouldn't really make that much of a difference.
Well, it makes a difference for me. I need to plan my route back and know how long it will take for the ferry to get back to our station.
I mean, if you're just going to Melfish, we can just, jump off at Abkin. It's fine.
All right. Well, that's fine. All right. Well, hop on then.
Yeah. I think we want to stick out to the route we planned, just because then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
fuck up the timeline.
I mean, you guys get on the ferry, and within 6 hours, so it's just barely getting to that point in the afternoon where like everything beyond the horizon is already black, and there's that sort of shifting hues from black to purple into that sort of still bluish above you. You arrive at Apken, which is a rather small town, and the ferry sort of docks there for you to get off. Are you guys staying the night there, or are you sort of continuing on your way? From the looks of it,
time is
there's it's 6 p.m. So it's like dusk.
Let's I'd recommend that we just do like a gather information, not for anything specific, but just to sort of like get a feel for the place, because we know that it's just a small town. We don't expect anything to happen here. But if we can get lodging here, it'd be better than just staying out in a field. So
Yeah. I
like
agree.
a D4 hours for gather information, I guess.
Sure.
each person.
and-
Yeah,
Because,
give me a 1d4 as you guys are gathering some information here in Apken, and whoever helping gather information, give me diplomacy checks.
Do we want to do a D4 for the group or for each person?
Do a D4 for the group because in the end, people will start to sort of split and need to do group.
Nice.
Right.
It's
nice
a small town.
job.
Yeah, it's a small
Doesn't
town.
take
You guys
long.
are doing it pretty quickly.
Oh, Aid.
Solera, I'm guessing, is the one that is hitting the tavern.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yep.
I
And,
definitely
Oh.
failed the Aid.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey.
I mean, I'll give it a shot, I guess. Huh?
I'm gonna
Seven
go-
25.
I'm
so
gonna
that's-
go with
Hey!
One
Good
piece
job,
of-
Sigurd.
sounds like
didn't
Erica
use
and
leeches,
Silera look at each other and are like, right, we got this. And just...
Yeah, so
I have- okay.
I'm guessing one group is Silera and Robin, and the other group is like Erica, Grigori, and Sigis, probably.
Yeah.
And as the party sort of splits for an hour and then regroups, what you would learn is that in the past couple of weeks, the weather has been a little bit off. Like usually around this time, you would still have clear days, pretty cold days, usually like a misty morning. Maybe you would have like a frost. What's it called? Like a
Frost blanket.
yeah, frost blanket form in the mornings, but instead they've been having rains every other day for the past 20 or so days. And right now there's like the rains have passed over, but there's already another sort of storm forming in the horizon, and it's looking like it's going to be 2 days of rain.
Can we tell sort of which direction it's coming from?
Yes, they've been having non-stop south to north winds, sort of southeast northwest.
Mhm.
So
That's
winds
the
coming
tradi-
in this direction, sort of thing.
That's sort of an well, I mean, if it's like southeast to northwest, that's literally towards Turtleback Ferry. So that's kind of sus.
Yeah.
Is it consistently that?
All of the storms that, like, as you sort of are doing a little bit of detective work, people are like, yeah, I mean, people look at the weather, but they are not like that keen on which direction the wind is blowing. But most of them is like, oh yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, it's always been sort of in that same direction. It's been a little bit weird now that I think about it.
Is it like talking to the people? I'm assuming there's some people at the docks here because the fishermen would actually probably pay
Docks,
attention to this easily.
Yeah, that would be the people that's like, oh yeah, that is weird. Like it's been every time that we get rain, it's from the southwest for the south, and then it starts to go over us.
And that's how it's been like forever, or how it's been just recently.
Recently, because usually here we get more rain from Lake Sarantula, but it's not uncommon to get some rains from the ocean. The thing is, like usually the ocean rains come closer to spring and summer. Usually in autumn we get the lake rains.
Well.
Makes sense. A big wide open space on the lake would, draw a lot of wind. But also there are the mountains on the east, so I could see a lot of rain coming through here typically.
And I mean, some of it would get pushed out.
Not that I know
the
anything
fen-
about geography, but sorry.
Some of it.
You
would
can
get
give me a
pushed out
knowledge
by
of
the fen
geography
walls,
to
I think.
see if this seems to be unnatural in any way.
Oh, I can actually do that because
Oh,
I have
my.
that
Damn.
knowledge now.
Erica, like the winds being consistently coming from the southwest is not strange, just because of the natural formation of the terrains. You have the Storval Steppe to the north, where it sort of separates southern Varizia from the Cinderlands, which is like over 300 feet of a sheer cliff wall. I think its highest it's like 700 feet. Of sheer cliff.
It acts like basically a mountain range, so it cuts off all the water.
It's sort of a mountain range, but it is very weird in how it interacts with wind, because normally a mountain range will give you a little bit of a slope and will not sort of completely cut off the wind. The Storval Steppe is a wall. It's just perfectly vertical wall, like somebody carved the ground apart. Which causes the winds around the Storval Steppe itself to be extremely high. So it sort of causes a sort of a whatchamacallit,
Is
almost
it like a big updraft or something?
there's a really heavy updraft, but also there's a southeast to northwest tendency to that updraft.
Oh, okay. So it kind of rips along the wall there.
Yeah, and the wind in general will tend to come from the ocean
Yep.
in
And
in
get
any
funneled
direction,
up.
and then
And
get
funnel
funneled
between
up.
the two mountains.
Yep,
Okay.
in that direction.
Sort
But
of
yeah,
what
I mean, it's not strange for them to have this kind of winds. However, it is autumn, and days have been pretty cold. It doesn't. It sort of is a little bit weird that there's this much rain.
Good to know.
Based on the timeline they're describing, does this line up with the takeover of Corvosa, or was this happening before that?
Way before.
before.
Okay.
Yeah, weeks.
Okay. Yeah. No, just wanted to make sure that it wasn't our new monarch creating some problems.
Okay.
Nah, I think it's just Zanisha.
This is Nisha's sister.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
both of
So,
them.
anything else you guys would like to? You might wonder about? Because give me some topics that you might be interested in. Otherwise.
What is the most interesting type of grass in the plain?
Long bottom leaf.
Fuck, I would not want to sit beside you on an airplane. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Did we
I'm
hear
kidding,
any
I'm
news
kidding.
of this town that the whatever red where this lady's acting?
Turtleback, right?
What about
They haven't heard anything about Turtleback. Abken is a Corvosan city, town, and Turtleback is a Magnumarian town. So
got?
We'll probably hear more about it when we get to
and-
Luzerin.
I'm just
sorry.
curious if
Yeah.
they've heard anything from Carmaga if they're letting people in anymore, because it is fairly unusual for them to, from what I've read, from them to close down, and they're just downriver.
Yeah, upriver.
Upriver. Sorry.
There is no magical river that goes up the Storwell step, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry. I was looking at the map and
That would
they're
be
just
cool.
up the
That would
river,
be
but
cool.
yeah.
Just fucking
Yeah,
go
yeah,
up a waterfall
meant-
with your boat.
I mean, we
Um,
could always use Frank's ship. I don't know.
No, they haven't heard from Karamaga, but they haven't had a reason to check in with them. They have received some deliveries of products. They've seen some products come by from Karamaga, or at least from
Where
Sorrento.
is Caramago?
So you see Upcam?
Yeah.
Northwest.
Is that
Sorry,
the
northeast.
ridge?
Literally
it sits
Northeast?
on the
oh,
ridge.
it's the waterfall. Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
It's
yeah.
basically
So-
built into the side of it.
Yeah, Karamaga is a vertical city. It takes up the entire height of the Storwell step.
That's dope.
Built on top, and you should really avoid going under. 'Cause
Yeah.
It just gets
Their
scary.
hydropower, though.
But yeah,
That hydropower. Damn.
from
I
the
like
sounds
it.
of it, from the sounds of it, the Karamaga is still active and nobody's checked in on them, but they have been receiving products from them.
Perfect. And is there any chance did Dorban come through here? Did anyone know? Are travelers pretty rare here? Is
no.
This a small?
No, no one's heard of Dorban coming through here.
That's all I got.
All right. Just to be clear, remember you guys took a ship directly to Corvosa, and if Dorban was taking any kind of other travel method, he will be a lot slower getting to Karamaga.
Mm.
But yeah.
Unless they know like what type of wildlife we should be on the lookout for on our way to Turtleback. That would be the only other thing.
Look out for wolves in the night. Ashwood is known to have a wolven population, and so does the Sanos Forest. There are also things that go bump in the night in the Ashwood. So try to stay away from it, from the
Keep
heart
a
of the
watch,
wood.
basically.
Yeah. Also, bears are the biggest threat, really.
Literally the biggest threat.
Yes,
Oh,
quite literally.
we should see if they know what the hell that bear that we saw was, because we
Yeah.
couldn't ID it.
Y'all heard of any dire bears?
Yeah, is that a thing? We saw like a huge one.
Oh yeah, you must be talking about Misha, the black bear. There's stories about her. It's Some say that she's over 300 years old. Killed many an adventurer. She's
Dope.
she's a little bit of a local legend. And
Cool.
she doesn't
Well, I'll
Well,
take
she doesn't
I'll
exist
take that
really,
we saw
but
her as a good omen.
No. No, there literally is a bear that big. Although it was nighttime, so we couldn't tell if it was black or not.
no, impossible. That's just a story we'd like to tell to our kids and
it was
passerbys.
it was a very big bear.
Oh, maybe
What
that
about
was
as
a
tall
bit.
as a tree?
You must be
I
seeing
was the
things in
one
the
who
night.
spotted it. It was definitely
Eats
very
coyotes
large.
eats coyotes like a fucking bag of peanuts. You know, just
What's
one
a
at a
peanut?
time.
I didn't see all that, but
You all didn't tell me that you saw a bear. What the heck?
Oh
You
yeah,
were
there was
asleep.
well, I was worried that I was busy tending to your father, but these two noticed it and then pointed me at it, and I think we made the wise decision of not engaging with it.
Yeah.
Yup.
I approve.
to be fair, there was a small part of me that wanted to see if we could take it, but I decided that
I
it was
mean-
best with your family along with us to not provoke the bear.
Well, I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Provoke the
you know
bear.
what they say about sleeping bears and letting them lie,
Mhm.
which is
If
to
we
do
ever
that and not to wake them up.
we're done later, we could come back and side quest the bear hunt.
True.
Going on a bear hunt.
Alright.
Sorry.
Brilliant.
Gonna catch a big one.
Man, if it really is a dire creature, this one time my uncle Thane fought a dire badger, or was it a wolverine? I think it was a wolverine. Man, that thing almost tore him in half.
That's
How big was
insane.
it?
Yeah,
How big are those?
about the size of a normal bear.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
you know, like
Yeah.
800 pounds of pure
Wolverine.
hatred. Yeah.
So, quick question, guys. Are you gonna stay in Apkin for the night?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
Seems
think we've
clear.
done anything bad, so
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
locals seem nice. We'll
Are we sure it's a good idea to be camping in a town when the Red Mantis is after one of the members of our party?
I mean, if they're gonna be after us now, they're probably gonna be after me forever. So, like,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we can
Yeah,
keep.
you're
it's easy to find in a town.
That's a good point.
Well, I mean, they do have the ability to go invisible, so if they want to sneak up on us, town or otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well,
the
we're
very
harder to find in nature than we are in a
Hmm.
town.
that's fair.
Yeah, at the
Okay.
very least, I
I'll-
mean, I don't sleep, and I can just detect evil when they come within 60 feet of us. So
Well, I mean, you'd have to do a watch with detect evil on, but
that's very easy to do.
yeah.
How do you detect scrying? Is there a thing that's like passive?
Uh,
No.
you see
I
invisibility
believe
would
Tiny
let you
Hut
see
blocks
this.
scrying.
See invisibility would let you see the scryer, because it's a little locust that they see out of.
Oh. Interesting.
So it'd be like a eyeball following you around or some shit.
Alright,
But
I'll look,
you'd have to have it cast and happen to have it the same time as it's scrying you.
I'll look into it, but we should I kinda agree with Dorbin and like we shouldn't stay in towns while we're there and put a bunch of distance between us and the city. And then
Wait,
we can
Dorbin's in
maybe
town.
Oh sorry.
Grigori.
Oh shit!
I ran into Dorbin, I'm drunk now.
Oh my
He
god,
still
the
has the
leeches.
dragon whiskey.
True.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If you guys want to camp, then we can camp.
Yep.
Right.
Like, how much further would we get before sundown anyway?
You could probably before sundown you would get like another 30 minutes of walking. Before it becomes too dark to see anything. For those of you that don't have dark vision, you would get like another hour, so like hour and a half out of Apkin, which would be like 1/20th of the way to Wyston, sort of thing.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, you sort of leave Apkin behind in the middle of the night, and you get a good ways towards Biston, and eventually it gets dark enough that the horses are having trouble without any kind of sort of assistance. And you guys would be getting tired at that point as well because you started very early in the day. You stop, make up camp. You guys are mounting
Headset.
watches because Robin is keeping an eye
in
out.
chat for my headset.
Oh. But yeah, I would need Robin to make me a perception check since he's gonna be sort of up all night. Is anyone else joining Robin in the watches? Oh,
Also gonna be
Sigis.
up.
Sigis as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a perception
gonna-
check as well.
And it's one of.
I would
Someone's
probably there
armor.
for part of it, I guess.
Probably. Yep.
I can also, so when I cast this spell, I can cast it and like keep like most of the party up. If anyone wants to join us, they can count as sleeping
mean-
and just hang out.
I will hang out all night.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, Grigori, you're the only one that picks up on this. I think. I'm waiting
Jesus.
for Sigis'.
Almost a 40.
Yeah.
Sigis
Uh,
already rolled. He was the first one, I think. Or no, he didn't.
No,
Never
Robin
mind.
I
was
have
the first
not.
one. I need a perception check from you, Sigis.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just panning over to skills.
You're pretty low. All right.
Hey.
Cool, damn.
Dang,
So
that's a
Grigori
good
and
perception.
Sigis, the two of you, Sigis, you would probably notice this as you sort of look up from your magical works because I think you're probably crafting something.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm probably focused on other things.
Yeah, so you sort of look up and you do spot the fact that there's a like the glint of eyes in the distance. Distant enough that they look like dots in the night, reflecting a little bit of the moonlight that is cracking through the clouds overhead. And you hear off in the distance the crack of lightning, crack of thunder, and rain begins to fall. Luckily for you guys, you have tents. You hear the pitter patter of water against the cloth.
Flash
Grigori,
maybe tiny hut if Sigis spot that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Grigori, you would see something in those sort of dots, those little lights in the distance. Your eyes of the eagle, sort of helping you focus in on the detail that you're watching. You see the outline of what looks like rather large wolves, sort of marauding in the distance. From the looks of it, they're probably sizing the camp.
How far out are
Trying to put this into my mind. Like almost 1,000 feet away.
Now, would
Damn.
Sigis be able to copy Tiny Hut into his spellbook before this happens?
No, this would be the time during which he is doing that, probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
it takes 4 hours for me to do that.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Okay.
you
yeah,
would be
that makes
like
sense.
this probably happens as you have just finished Tiny Hut
Damn.
because it is 4 hours into the sleep.
I was gonna put an arrow near them, but 1,000 feet out, that's a tall order.
Don't be a bitch. Sorry.
I don't think I can, because you can only do, what, 3 range increments past your max, right?
5.
No.
5. Oh.
I think you could get one out there
That's
and give
600
like a
feet.
warning shot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you lit it on fire.
I'm just impressed that you saw them.
I'm impressed that
Yeah.
you saw them.
Yeah.
I still can't see them, by the way.
Yeah, Robin's
I
like
see nothing.
twiddling his thumbs.
I
Yeah.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh no! A projectile weapon can shoot up to 10 range increments.
Oh, then
I
you
mean,
can't.
I'll let it fly.
It's one arrow.
It is
Yeah.
it is a minus 20 to hit, but yeah.
I don't think he's trying to hit them. I think he's just trying to warning
Hit
shot
a
them.
square
Yeah.
within 100 feet of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean, give me an attack roll.
All right.
Crits hits the one wolf in the eye.
Man, that
In
nat
before
20,
nat
though.
20. Oh no.
Yeah.
No, not even
No.
close. I rolled a 3 on it. Oh god.
Technically, that would result in a -2 final as the final result.
It's not I'm not taking 3 shots, so it's actually +2, so it ends up being a 0.
0. Okay. Like, it flies in their general direction, but it sort of you can't even tell where the fuck it landed. But you sort of see it for a moment, sort of glinting you see the moonlight sort of reflecting off of the metal tip, and then it sort of falls somewhere in the darkness. And a second goes by, and then you hear the as it echoes from the distance, and it gets a reply.
How would it be? I accidentally hit one and killed it.
Not on that roll.
Yeah, I know.
You see the sort of glinting, the sort of light reflecting in their eyes sort of disappears.
That's either a good sign or a very bad sign.
It's fine. I mean, at the very least, depending on their intelligence, they know that we have an archer, and I put a shot kind of close, possibly.
Well, I was gonna say that's why I was saying I hope they aren't wargs, because then we're definitely gonna have some issues.
After a few moments go by, the sort of echoing of the howling stops, and you don't hear anything aside from the pitter patter of the rain, and it's making seeing in the distance even harder.
Yeah,
as it's now raining.
I'm sorry, I missed a bit of that.
Don't
I
worry.
just fired an arrow and missed.
Okay. My computer is freaking out.
But I would inform the others that there was wolves out there. If you didn't get that from the howling.
Yeah.
I took a shot. I don't think I was close.
The two who are asleep would still be asleep, as the sound of the rain against the cloth of the
Yay for sleeping.
tent
Yeah.
covers up.
None the wiser.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Erica doesn't have to heal people and burn second-level spells all the time now, so she's enjoying that.
Yep. A few moments go by, and there's no sign of the wolves again. And unless there's something you guys would like to do, I'm gonna skip ahead in time.
Down a tiny hut?
I would like to figure out what my second-level spell is going to be.
Robin, Grigori, Sigis, any plans for the night?
I'll probably
down a tiny hut now.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw down tiny hut if that's okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna upgrade, add a +1 to somebody's armor, unless we want to prioritize the weapon. Whoever wants it.
Don't look at me.
I will happily take the +1 to the armor.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like the tank should definitely take it first.
Your armor is now +1. It takes me
Aha!
4 hours.
That doesn't affect ACP or anything, does it?
Nope.
Nice.
All right. In that case, you guys take the rest of the night sort of quite tensed up, but the wolves never come. There's thunder in the distance, and the rain starts to sort of grow in intensity as the clouds above you sort of cover the moon. Everything goes pitch black as outside of the range of the campfire. The tiny hut sort of giving you a little bit of protection from the elements. You can see the rain outside is sort of getting to that point where it hits the ground hard enough, and there's that sort of layer of mud that is getting saturated with water, where mud is starting to fly up and hits the side of the tiny hut and sort of forms a little bit of a sort of mountain of mud in the peripheria of the tiny hut. The two inside of the tent, you guys sleep quite pleasantly, up until the point where, actually, I'm guessing how big is the tiny hut, actually?
It can hold 9 medium creatures comfortably.
20-foot radius.
Yeah.
20-foot radius. Are you
But
including
the horses
Jesus.
are outside.
Yeah.
Your
It
horses
does
are
not
outside.
block scrying. I'm trying to drop it. My computer's just frozen.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Probably happy anyway. Outside.
Is the tent where Erica and Salera are inside of the The tiny hut?
I would hope so.
That's a
Let's
question
say
for
yes.
Sigis.
That's a question for Sigus.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Is the tent with Salera and Erica inside of the tiny hut? Are you keeping it inside of the radius?
Don't know. It depends how quickly, because we would have been in the tent before, because I didn't have the tiny hut going.
Yeah, the tent is next to the campfire. That's how like the usual setup goes. Like there's
The fire would probably be outside the tiny hut because we don't need it.
Yeah,
Obviously, you don't want to fire inside of a tiny hut.
Yeah. So the campfire, after a couple hours of the rain, just getting more intense, just dies out completely. You guys inside of the tiny hut are dry and somewhat very comfortable, I would say. But you can tell like it's gone from being rains to storm at this point, and it doesn't look like it's gonna let up anytime soon. And it is like that morning eventually comes, and it is only by keeping track of your own biological clock that you realize that it is morning, because
Is it though?
Is it? It's hard to tell. There's that sort of grayish light covering everything. Everything seems to be the colors on everything seems to be a little bit washed out. As you can see the outline of where the clouds are a little bit thinner, but everything else is just like heavily obscured by the clouds above.
Oh my god, what time is it?
Oh, I don't know,
The
but I
time
slept
to get
surprisingly
moving.
well.
Hey, Gregori's right.
Yeah, I slept
thank
very
you
well
for
also.
finishing this armor, Sigis. Wow, what a good night. Did you guys
So
see
welcome.
anything interesting?
Wolves.
Ooh.
Giant wolves or just regular type wolves?
They were about 1,000 feet away, so I couldn't get a good eye on it, but they looked kind of big.
All right, so
As long as they stayed away.
Right.
who's hungry?
I mean, yeah, we're I'm assuming we're gonna eat before we travel.
Yeah. So like you guys sort of sit down to do your daily preparations, your prayers in the case of those who are paladins, or your mental preparations for the day for those who cast magical spells, arcane spells.
I just commune with nature, it's fine.
You commune with nature.
I just vibe.
Yeah.
Just vibing with the
Um,
plants, man.
Also, I'd probably make breakfast so it was ready for when everybody woke up.
Yeah. So you guys sit down to have breakfast, each at their own
My
time.
hero.
Decent breakfast, too.
Yeah, it's a decent breakfast. Quite nice, actually. It's more filling than it is like it's not a gourmet meal. It is very much a packed with energy sort of thing.
Excuse me, I have prestidigitation at will.
Everything's a gourmet meal.
Everything's a gourmet
Certainly
meal.
flavor it.
Everything tastes like a
just
gourmet
wave your-
meal.
And
Just
I
wave
was
your
a
fingers
rich
and
kid.
fake salt.
Everything
I
has
was a
to
rich kid,
taste
so
delicious.
I know what the good food tastes like.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you guys can have like a bowl of like pretty filling oatmeal, but instead of tasting like oatmeal, it tastes like buttered toast with caviar and a sprinkle of lemon sort of thing.
And this is what white rhino tastes like.
It tastes like home.
Also, the entire time, this girl is just like, fucking stop, dude, that's gross. Let me have my oatmeal. I just want oatmeal.
Yeah, I was gonna say Eric is just like, I'm just gonna stick with the oatmeal for now, I think.
Now it just tastes like oatmeal, but when you eat it, it tastes like you're eating a bowl of wet paper.
Exactly like I like my oatmeal. But you
That's
guys,
what oatmeal tastes like. I don't know what you're talking about.
but yeah, you guys sort of have a very nutritious breakfast. And I mean, it is raining cats and dogs. There is just like visibility is reduced. You can see sort of about like 100 feet away from you. There's just white, like you can't see if you're moving towards a tree or towards the city. Grigori, do you sort of know the lay of the land, or at least how to orient yourself? So you very likely will be able to navigate somehow. But this is gonna be a slow fucking trek.
Yeah.
You
Well-
could push your horses even, who by the way are not having a fun time, as you can tell like they are shivering a little bit in the cold, as they're sort of somewhat walking around trying to keep themselves warm, and their leather sort of seems to be like beyond slick with water, but like to the point where it seems to have been irritated. Like they seem to be shaking and uncomfortable under the rain.
Use prestidigitation to warm them up by a couple degrees,
Yeah.
because I can do that.
Also,
Sure.
one thing I forgot to mention is in the morning, because we're all sharing a tent, and this is the first time Sigas hasn't had his own room. He has to pull out his surgical kit, and actually he has a little like water skin with a needle attachment, and he actually like every day fills it with his own blood to lower his blood pressure. So y'all get to watch that. So enjoy.
Yep.
Then he has to go dump that out somewhere. So
But you just
you-
bleed.
Do
I
you
just have to
need me
bleed myself
heal you?
constantly. No. This is good. This is the process. This is good.
I mean, you're not doing anything I think that's inherently evil. It's just very weird.
I'm not using anyone's blood but my own. And in
Okay.
fact, I
He's
have
just
too
throwing
much
it
of that.
away, technically.
Yeah,
Realistically speaking,
why?
like
Want it?
you definitely
No.
have to have some magical assistance with this, with your blood. Otherwise, you would drain yourself of your blood by the end of the week.
No. So
He
I've
produces
magically,
excess.
I've
Yep.
magically basically unlocked my body, so it just constantly makes more and more and more blood.
Gotcha.
Gross.
He's
So,
using
So
his
yeah,
yeah.
blood
you do
to
in
drive
fact
his
have
magic.
magical assistance in making sure you have enough blood in your body. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So I do
He is
that
a blood
though.
mage.
I think we might, if our horses are really shitty and it's pouring rain, I vote we wait a day. But it's me.
Well,
It doesn't
I
look
mean,
like
that's
it's
what we
going
do.
anywhere, so we might as well just, try to
Well,
move
How many tiny huts can
ahead.
you drop in a day, Sigus?
It's a 3rd level spell, so I could drop 4. But I would
Okay,
Okay,
rather.
so how about we
not.
ride for like 4 hours, realize that it's shitty, drop a tiny hut. That gives us 8 hours to sort of recuperate. We can use however
what
much of that as we
happened
want.
to our urgency?
Well, I mean,
It's fair. That's a good
we're
point.
slowed down anyways.
I feel it is best to keep moving. We do not know how long the storm will be in the area. It could
Let's
be
check.
all days that it's here, so might as well just keep moving.
Let's get
Yeah,
a
I
full
don't-
day's
Stop,
ride,
so
and
don't stop.
if Sigus can cast more than one tiny hut, we just cast a second one for the horses tomorrow, so they're
Yeah.
comfortable.
Awesome.
Um,
I can't do that. If I leave the hut, it disappears.
Well, you
Oh.
can do 2 overlapping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grigori, do me a favor and give me a survival check as well, while you guys are
Alright.
doing this. But keep going.
I am a woman on a mission, and I slept so well last night. I'm feeling good. I got some great quality time with my mother. My father's on the road to recovery. Let's do this.
Grigori, 2 things. One, judging from how the terrain is changing, it's very likely that by the time you get to Biston, the road from Abkin to Biston will have turned mostly into mud, and you might be risking like essentially running into like what would you call them?
Mud plains?
Mud plains.
During okay.
Mudslides, or just super muddy terrain where it could risk the horse's health.
Super muddy terrain where it might risk the horse's health. If you leave now and you push it, you might not. You might make Biston, the issue is that you're going to have a very similar problem once you want to go from Beston to Ilsurian. And judging from where the route would take you, it's also very likely that the lake and the river are going to be overflowing, and that route might not even be available anymore.
So
What do we know about Biston?
Well,
it's chill.
yeah, it's not Melfish. I mean, that was the main reason we were taking this route.
Well, is there? Nope. That river goes upriver. That
Also, I'm really regretting that Ra died.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
Druid would be really nice.
Yeah. Control weather. No, fuck the rain.
Yep.
It's gonna rain over there instead.
Well then,
Umbrella.
essentially
Why don't
what
we
you're
just
telling
take
us.
the rain and push it over there?
So basically, what you're telling us is that we're kind of fucked.
Kinda.
So what I was gonna say is,
We go-
if you were to go into the Ashwood, and this is something Grigori would know, going into the woods would at least allow you to escape the possibility of mud plains, and give you some protection from the rain itself.
If we go,
As we're traveling, Grigori may even suggest just not going to Biston and just cutting straight to Ilzarian.
And how
I
do we
mean-
ford the river?
if it comes to that, I mean, we could use the Ashwood and go up to Turtleback. It's my understanding is the town's on both sides of the river.
Mhm.
So
Ilsurian?
Is there a bridge?
It would be well. It's a ferry.
Oh,
right?
that makes sense.
Turtleback Ferry is actually on the eastern coast,
Oh,
the eastern shore.
okay.
So we
So
just
it's on
skip
this side.
Ilsurian.
Yeah, well, we could just head straight.
Like
Just-
from here, just straight there.
We did get the warning about going through the Ashwood, but I mean, if we wanted to make our trip as efficient as possible,
And
Well,
we can
it's
just
mainly
tiny
that-
hut.
It's mainly at this point that the issue is that we can't it is going to become unpassable to be around the edge of the river. So we're gonna have to go
Yeah.
through the Ashwood regardless.
Yeah, we
Okay.
pretty much just do this and tiny hut to sleep so that we're
well, I
Totally
was gonna
safe.
say, but before we leave in the morning, if we're just deciding that we're gonna do that because the rain's too bad, then we should not even head towards Biston. We should just go straight
Agreed.
that way.
that's what we're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause we
Okay,
we got to here
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Aspen. So we literally just fucking go straight there and take the shortest route in the woods to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Would want to
I
get in the
think
woods as
Ashwoods
fast
is
as
gonna be a
possible,
bad time.
first of all. And
Oh
then
yeah,
go in a
because the whole
straight line.
plane,
Yeah.
is gonna be a
Yeah,
mess,
you're
isn't
right.
it?
Yeah.
You right.
Which isn't that much
Yeah, so we just head
of a
straight,
detour.
and yeah. I
I
mean,
think
it
this is a
might.
good plan, but I just also, as long as we're okay with the fact that we did that like fortune telling thing and we picked a specific path and then we'd be kind of leaving that path. The thing
Yeah.
was like maybe not was in
I
that.
mean, the
This might-
rain could be the bad thing.
I was gonna say this
Hmm.
might be the woe that we're talking about. Like we already took too much time, so whatever the fuck this is has started.
That
Sure.
was the nat ones that he was rolling earlier.
Yeah.
I believe that was the healing.
Yeah. Sure. I'm down to go cross. Are we on a road right now?
You currently
it just
are
like
on
a
a
dirt
road.
path?
We'd be going off the road.
Yeah, you would be going
Yeah,
off
yeah.
the road if you went towards Ashwood. Actually, yeah, there would be a road from Abken to Biston. It is like a very poorly kept
Not-
road because the main road goes from Abken to Malfesh and then Malfesh to Biston. That's the road that gets used much more often. The road that
Yeah.
goes directly from Abken to Biston is mostly like a military route, so it's like used seldomly.
Okay. I'm
All
down.
right. Well, let's give this a shot. Grigori, I think we're going to be pretty heavily relying on your guiding us through the wood. Is there anything we can do to help you with that?
No, I don't think it'll be a problem.
All right. Well, let's get us to the Ashwood before we get bogged down, literally.
Hmm.
Right. Give me a survival check, Gregory.
All right. Great.
Consistency.
All right.
Nice
so
work.
where you guys wanted to go towards the Ashwood instead of going to Biston? Like
Yep.
try
Yeah.
to get
Just
to the
make
Ashwood as
sure-
quickly as possible.
Closest
Yeah.
point to the Ashwood, and then from that point
Which
straight.
I believe
to
is
Turtleback.
here.
So you would be doing something. Your plan route is something.
Due
like this.
west and then northwest.
And then head directly to Turtleback through. I guess we're
Like
we're
that.
pretty much going through the heart of the Ashland.
As this is one of the moments that I'm really missing 5e Ranger.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, or even just like a more vanilla ranger that's like super stoked up on the survival and woodsy stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, no. With Gregorius' assistance, with his guidance, you guys managed to sort of push your horses through the day, and you're right. Like, it feels like you're like moving rather slowly, even though your horses are essentially like almost galloping through most of the day. You arrive at Ashwood by the time that the sky is starting to once again turn a darker shade. It's probably like afternoon, somewhere around like maybe 3, maybe 5 p.m. It's hard to tell. It looks like you might have like another hour of sunlight still to go through the Ashwood itself. But at this point, you're sort of entering. At which point, I would like everyone to give me a perception check.
Also, with the combined tree cover and clouds, it's basically pitch black. I can only imagine.
Yes, like you can see inside of the
Double
Ashwood.
that
It's
one.
just like fucking deeper
I
darkness.
rolled a 6.
That's all right, guys.
It's okay,
Solera?
we have a ranger.
Yeah, Solera, you can tell like as you guys are sort of reaching the forest, there's like that sort of ominous feel to it. Like it looks dark, much darker than everything else, and there's that sort of overcast. It's raining. There's no animal sounds, and there's like that sort of. It gives you that sort of, disturbing sensation, like something is off. Give me just 1 second. Yeah.
Here we go.
Grigori.
Shit, here we go again.
Grigori.
Can we roll some sort of knowledge on the Ashwood?
Yes, you can give me a knowledge geography, I guess.
Nature. Oh,
Nature.
Yeah.
Nature or geography? Both will.
Local for
Yeah.
legends.
Both.
Nope. Oh well, local for if you just care about legends.
Mine are equally bad, but I rolled pretty good, so.
Right.
Feeling good with that nature.
Hey.
It has trees,
Nice.
I think.
What about religion? Because I study the nature as a religion.
Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Aid with knowledge religion. I'm kidding.
Stylera. Actually, I'm waiting for a check from Grigori. Either nature, geography, or local.
I mean,
I'm not
they're
sure
all
if he
untrained.
has them.
Okay.
I mean,
you can
I'm
get,
a-
no. You can give me a knowledge religion. In fact,
Okay.
Oh, that's bad.
Uh-oh.
it is a
Do you
possibility.
want me to roll knowledge religion?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Erica.
That was such a bad roll.
Oh my god, I rolled a 2.
Same,
Right.
same.
So,
Yeah,
Solera is the only one that knows anything about the Ashwood, and you roll geography. Right. So the Ashwood is traditionally like a very old forest, and as tends to be with anything that is old, it has old things living in it. It
great.
in terms of like politics, it is
Yes.
the western border of all of Corvosa's claims. So once you reach the Ashwood, you're technically outside of Corvosan influence. Like once you enter the midpoint of the Ashwood. You would know though, as a added bonus, Corvosa does not claim ownership of the Ashwood. It is sort of a unclaimed land sort of thing. Turtleback Ferry is the only one that sort of has any kind of claim of a very small portion of the Ashwood. Yeah, that's about it for the knowledge that you get out of that. But Grigori, with your 30 perception check, as Stellaris sort of looking around and gets that sort of ominous feeling, you sort of stop your horse for a second, sort of making sure that everyone else is still within range, because it's, you know, if you pull away too far, you might lose them. Like the range of vision is very limited here.
Yeah.
You turn back towards the forest, and you see that sort of glint of an eye that you saw last night, but it looks different. It looks more like it's reflecting. It's not reflecting light, but instead producing its own. I don't know who it is that it is crunching. It is Sandy. Sunday crunching. Thank you.
Sandy.
um,
Sorry,
It's the crunching
I
of,
forgot to mute myself.
of feet.
yeah,
That's
that,
what
Don't
it is.
apologize.
Sound effect.
Just be better.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's just the fact that I was describing something I could hear the crunching in my ear. It was like very
That was
distracting.
what drew my attention, was the crunching in the forest.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
hear the crunching of leaves in the forest, but you specifically see this pair of sort of eyes looking in your direction. It looks like they're like a good 100 or so feet away. It's hard to tell because you only see the eyes in the darkness, and they're very clearly looking in your direction. And they have sort of this light coming from them. It's not like they are reflecting, but producing their own light. And they look like they are a very intense crimson red.
I let the party know. And
Well, we're
then
fucked.
I
What?
will
What
shout
creatures
out
have
in the-
glowing eyes?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Is that a check we could make for glowing eyes?
Well, there were a bunch of
Possi-
wolves in this forest, right?
Not
wolves?
that I have glowing eyes.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, but my uncle Thane used to, back up in the place where he was raised, they used to domesticate wolves and use them to hunt. But a lot of the time, they would actually like fight for I don't know, fight for domestication or fight for control. I say loosely with not dire wolves, but something else, like really big wolves
Are you
that were
talking
smart.
Wargs?
Yeah, wargs. Those things. It could be one of those. They're smart.
So I was gonna
I
say
don't know if their
we
eyes
should
glow though.
we should close in so that we're all close enough that I can buff you all if we get
I was gonna
attacked.
say let's put the squishy people in the middle and the well armored folks on either end.
I'm pretty sure wargs are magical creatures. Robin's like saying this like in character. He's like, I think they're magical creatures, and I think magical creaters have glowing eyes. That's correct, right?
Is
I
there
don't
in
know
fact
if
a
they all
knowledge
do.
that we can roll?
Yeah.
You can.
Somebody know?
Right, you guys can give me either. No, I'm trying to remember what fucking knowledge it would be for this. You can give me either
They
religion,
fey.
or
Damn it.
let's go with local, I suppose.
Wait.
Well,
It could also be that fuck off bear.
oh my god, I rolled a 4.
We literally rolled the same thing twice in a row now.
God damn it. Stop it. Let me roll first next time. You're jinxing
Alright.
it.
Will do.
Give me 1 second, because you guys are very on the fringe of what the DC for this one is, and I need to double check.
Yeah,
Come on,
we currently
Fozen.
don't have a very good look at it, so I got the feeling we're
Yeah.
not going to hit that DC.
The only person who rolled decent was Robin, and
Right.
his bonus isn't great.
Oh,
Right, so
Yeah.
Silera,
Yeah. Or-
Silera, you've heard of a particular type of creature that that lives in forests and has like supernatural qualities, specifically in forests that have wolves in them. Specifically, werewolves tend to live in these kinds of places.
Oh,
And it's
Christian,
not unheard
I have a
of.
silver sword.
It's not unheard of for a werewolf to have eyes that glow in the night.
Well,
So
To note, I did actually pick up both silver and cold iron arrows in town.
Yep. And Robin pulls out some masterwork silver knuckles and is like, "Lad, let's fucking go."
shit. Let me see what I have.
As you're sort of stopping to converse with your party and sort of like, guys, like there's something over there. You point at it. You see the crimson eyes sort of shift in look, like ever so slightly shift, and you see them disappear and reappear on the other side of one of the trees, a little bit closer, and then disappear, and you don't see them anymore.
I detect evil.
I'm
I
also
leave it
going to
active.
shout out that we mean no harm. We're just passing through.
Okay. Don't get any response.
All right. Like I said before, I think behoove us to have our squishy people in the middle.
I'm gonna say that we're going through Pass No Harm in Elven, just in case. I don't know. We're in trees.
In trees.
It's literally my
It
race.
might just be a really pissed off elf. We don't know.
What language are you? Eric is like, well, I mean, unless we think it's celestial, demonic, or devilish, I'm not really going to be able to help with the translations.
I mean, Robin's gonna be like, "Well, if we're covering our bases," he's gonna say it in Sylvan.
That's actually probably a good idea if you explain what language you're speaking.
That'd be a pissed off Fae.
Unfortunately, all I know is the ability to speak with undead.
It's pretty sweet.
Necrol?
Oh, let's
Neat.
have cool, easy evil chats.
It's because I mean I really hate undead, so being able to understand what they're saying is helpful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the same reasoning that I know the abyssal and infernal.
Yeah.
So should we move slowly as to keep our eyes open for?
Yeah, I think we want to make sure that we don't get jumped, as it were.
Okay.
If you want, because Robin's gonna hear the message spell being cast in his ear, from Sigus. Robin's gonna be like, "If you want, I can scout ahead and sort of be on the down low, and if I notice anything with detect evil, because I would assume that a werewolf pings off evil." He sort of looks at Erica and is like, "Is that how that works?"
Well, I'm not as familiar with werewolves. They aren't technically demonic entities, but I think they can be a variety of alignments, aren't they? Just isn't it just a curse, or
Yeah.
or some are born with it? So if you're not, like, I mean, if you were cursed, you wouldn't become evil.
It shit. Oh, I don't know what I know. I don't know what I know.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
It
well, I
doesn't
mean,
work
we
the
all-
same
we all
way
just
in.
bombed our we all
Well,
just bombed our knowledge checks.
if
If
I
you're
think-
transformed, it
generally.
forces you because it
By
takes
the way,
over your psyche.
Well, I think we should be able to roll a knowledge for specifically werewolves to know
Sure.
what we know.
Sure. Give me. I think werewolves are considered. What is it? They
And
are.
we only think it's a werewolf. We're not 100% sure on that.
Yeah. That's just our
Humanoid
that's-
shapeshifter.
Human shape changer.
Arcane?
So local. No, local.
Local.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm fucking nailing this one on the head.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled a 14.
Nice.
There you go,
Jesus,
Silera.
Alright.
Killing it.
I'm rolling good tonight, guys.
Silera,
Thank
you. This is the dark ages of Silera when she was a teenager and she read a lot
She was a
of.
goth.
No, she read a
Twilight.
lot of Twilight books.
Yeah.
No,
Back when I was
Dusk.
fun fact, back when I was 14 and my nickname was Psy and I ran with the wrong crowd for a little bit. That's when I was into it.
I've read all of them. I'll throw that out.
Jokes aside,
I think I read the first one.
you would know that lycanthropes, specifically werewolves, are very tough creatures. They are, as Sigus mentioned before, cursed. They are infectious. You may ask me 3 questions about werewolves in general that we'd like to ask. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions you could ask.
Jesus.
How many would a 21 get?
Wait, give me 1 second. 31. Oh no, it's 10 plus CR.
And I think we do get like just the basic information of it, like.
Sorry, no, I was
He was a humanoid
I was-
shapeshifter.
I was right the first time. Solera, you get 3 questions, and Robin, you get 1.
Okay, so there go first.
Shit.
Oh, wait.
I'm real.
Sorry, no. It's 4 and 2. 4 and 2, because meeting is the
Okay.
first one, and then
Is
5
one,
over
and then
is
5
the
after,
second.
yeah.
So 4 and 2.
Okay.
I'm really bad at this. So,
Does it have any so basically we know the gist of werewolves, correct? Like
We
Yeah.
General
currently
gist,
don't.
yeah.
We know what they are. We do not know any. We do not have any confirmation on what exactly they can do or what they are vulnerable to or good at defending against.
We know
Okay.
we know silver. That's about
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
yeah, but
That's
that's
common
like
knowledge.
that's
Yeah.
common knowledge, like folk knowledge. Like we don't know 100% if that actually works because none of us have ever fought one.
It might
Okay,
be a myth,
beside-
as far as you know. But yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
besides what we already know, what special abilities do they have?
Special abilities.
Is that a good question to ask? I'm trying
Yeah,
here, guys.
special abilities, special attacks is always good
Probably
to know
their
because then you know
empathy.
what the hell they can do.
Well,
That's about it.
they have. I'll give you the two of them for one question, specifically because of how they are. Werewolves, or lycanthropes in general, can change shape at will. They can appear both humanoid, as a hybrid, which is the what is traditionally known as a werewolf, or they can appear as a full-on animal form, as a wolf. Traditionally, it tends to look much larger and intimidating than a normal wolf, maybe even appearing as a dire wolf. Their ability to change into one of these animals also allows them to interact with their kin, with actual naturally forming wolves, in this case, as if they were an animal just like them. That is technically 2 abilities. That is their change shape and their lycanthropic empathy.
Neat.
You still have 3 more questions.
What what are their
Yes, there.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of how to ask the question. I essentially want to ask like what specifically are they weak to?
Okay.
Special defenses, I think, is what you're looking for. Unless
Yes.
you want to know
Special
DR
defenses is
specifically.
one question. Defensive abilities is another question. Their strongest or weakest save is another question you can ask.
Oh, okay.
So if you're looking for like weaknesses, that would be something that would be like if they have like DR. So
Yeah,
they would,
but
they would be more susceptible like silver or
as
what have you.
part of asking about special defenses, I think you find out if they have DR, just not what the DR is bypassed by.
Yeah.
So it's whatever you want to do.
I don't know.
You have 3 questions, so you have plenty to ask.
Yeah, you can.
In the
it's not like
meantime,
you can
how
fuck this
about
up.
Robin? You ask one question.
Sure. How does the curse of lycanthropy affect alignment?
Right. So, lycanthropy, the curse of lycanthropy, which is another special effect that they have, they transmit it through their bite. It is technically a curse. It is as a magical effect a curse. It doesn't necessarily change your alignment. However, it does cause you to lose control of your abilities if you're trying to resist the curse. If you let yourself be controlled by the curse, it can and will eventually change your mind itself. Eventually forcing, could lead to a change in alignment. However, it tends to lead towards neutrality. Unless the lycanthrope under which you might have been turned becomes your alpha, in which case it tends towards the alignment of your new alpha.
Okay. And because the Ashwood is old and large, Robin's pretty much going to assume that there is either, one alpha that just absolutely kills it and, runs the show with all the wolves, or it's literally a pack of werewolves and we're not dealing with just one.
Okay.
I would probably assume it's a pack of werewolves. So, Robin would probably be numbers. Like, if there's a pack of werewolves, what kind of numbers are we expecting, and how many wolves would be with them typically?
Okay, so normally the traditional sort of organization for werewolves is you will either find them as a solitary werewolf, meaning that they are probably looking for a new place, maybe they're settling in. You might find a couple which are sort of omegas. They've moved out of their pack and they're forming the new pack. But your average pack might have somewhere between 4 and 6 werewolves themselves. And they can have up to around 12 wolves within their pack.
Yikes.
So we're looking at, like 16, upwards of 16 hostiles and one, like, fuck off werewolf alpha.
Yes, those are going to be your 2 questions. So, Celera, you still have 3.
What is their weakest save?
Right. Surprisingly enough, despite them having supernatural reflexes, their reflex saves tend to be their weakness. Their bulk and their sheer strength in general tends to be accompanied by a slower reaction speed. They tend to become too focused on combat itself.
Okay. I have 2 more questions.
Yep.
I'm sorry, guys. I suck at this.
If you can confirm if there's anything else that gets through well, actually, we don't know if they have DR, so I guess maybe figure it if they have DR and then ask about it.
Yeah, I will ask
Can
that.
we get... Okay.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna recommend if you ask about cures for Earth.
Yeah, that was going to be my last question that I already had kind of planned.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
So do they?
Basically, do they have DR? What bypasses it? I think is what we're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know how to.
Okay. Yeah.
The answer is yes and yes.
Yes. They have DR. It is. I'm not going to give you an exact number, but it is.
It is a DR.
It is a DR. It is bypassed by silver. It is moderate, tending towards what would be considered moderate high.
Oh, okay. Fun.
Okay. And then the
final question.
Oh, sorry. The last question is what are the
Were you asking for cures or symptoms?
That's exactly. I was about to ask about cures, and then I was thinking about whether that is.
Cures and preventative measures, basically.
Yeah, I think cures would be and preventative measures would be a good idea to ask about. That way, when someone's gonna get bit.
Am I allowed to ask that overarching question though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cures and six. So for the curse of lycanthropy is what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
There.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
No, for filth fever.
I don't know. The curse of lycanthropy can be staved off by the strength of your body. It is a physical curse. So a fort save is required to prevent yourself from being infected by the curse. However, all of its effects depend on your willpower to resist the influence of the moon. In the case of a werewolf, it is the full moon that affects your cycles. However, there is no known cure for the curse of lycanthropy other than breaking it through a remove curse. And even then, it is not an easy task.
Perfect.
All right. Well, let's not get bit then.
Yes. Let's not.
Let's
And-
hopefully not even fight them.
Yes. Most ideally. Out of character. Did we roll the d4s at the start of the session?
No, we didn't.
We did not.
We probably
Solera,
want to do that if we're
yeah.
going to be going into nasty saves.
Solera, give me. Actually, no. No. What we're gonna do is, as you guys are heading into the Ashwood and you have gathered this information about the lycanthropes, that is where we're gonna leave for tonight because we are past the 2-hour mark. I will give you guys 2 extra die next week since you didn't get to roll them. And we'll have your final stretch of the road to get from Corvosa to Turtleback Ferry, which has taken way longer than I expected it to.
Man, we have taken an interesting journey to get to Turtleback Ferry.
Yeah. All right. On that note, goodbye, stream, and I'll see you next week.
Stream.
Bye, stream.
Peace out, Trey.